Mrs. Swanson here, and today our lesson's focus will be adding and subtracting integers. That means positive and negative numbers. The key to solving these problems, especially when you're working with negative numbers or subtracting larger numbers, will be to change your problem to addition. Let me show you why addition is easier to work with. Here we have addition problems that have the same sign. What I mean by that is in our first, this is a positive 4 and a positive 8. So same signs, it's positive. And a negative 4 and a negative 8. Same signs, but these are negative. There are two steps that we're going to follow. Step 1, add the numbers. So 4 plus 8 equals 12. Step 2, keep the sign. Since 4 and 8 were both positive, our 12 is also going to be positive. Let's look back at the problem that was negative 4 plus negative 8. Sometimes whenever you have a positive next to a negative number, your negative number might be in parentheses, and that's fine, it still means the same thing. So let's follow our steps. Add the numbers, which we know from the last problem is 12, and keep the sign. 4 and 8 here are both negative, so we have a negative 12. And it's that simple when you're working with same sign numbers using addition. But what if we had a problem like this? Negative 4 plus a positive 8. Here we have different signs. Our 4 is negative and our 8 is positive. Again, we have two simple steps, but they're different when you're working with different signs. Our first step is to subtract the numbers. So we have an 8 and we have a 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. Then we're going to keep the sign of the larger number. So looking here, we know that 8 is larger than 4. Since 8 is positive, our answer is also going to be positive. Now you don't have to write the positive sign like you write the negative. If you have nothing in front of this number, it's just assumed to be positive. And there's your answer. Pause the videos and try these on your own. Press play when you're ready to check your work. Now that we have addition down, you might be asking yourself, what if I have a subtraction problem, like 2 minus 4? What we want to do is change this to an addition problem. To do that, there are 3 simple steps. To remember these steps, you can think of a famous chicken restaurant, KFC. The K stands for keep, meaning you're going to keep your first number the same. You're not going to change anything about it. The F stands for flip, meaning you're going to flip the sign from a negative to a positive, or subtracting to adding. Lastly, the C stands for change, meaning you're going to change the sign of your second number. So right now our 4 is positive, and we're going to change it to negative. Now we have an addition problem, 2 plus negative 4. Once you get to this point, you just follow the steps that we went over for addition. So first ask yourself, do these numbers have the same sign or different? We have a positive and a negative, so we're going to follow the rules for different signs. Step 1 was to subtract the numbers, so we know 4 minus 2 is 2. And we're going to take the sign of the bigger number. The bigger number here is, of course, 4, so our answer will be negative, just like the 4. Here are some problems to try on your own. Pause the video, press play when you're ready to check your work. Using the KFC, I changed negative 6 minus 8 to negative 6 plus a negative 8, getting negative 14. The second problem, we had 17 minus 20, but we kept the first number, flip the sign to adding, change the sign of the second number to negative, and we follow our addition rules and get a negative 3. Here's a good flow chart to use when you're working through problems adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. You start here to ask yourself, is it an addition problem? If yes, you're going to ask, is it the same sign or different signs? And then follow the rules and steps here. If no, you're going to do our KFC method to change it to addition. Then go back over here and follow our rules. Going over the key points from this lesson, we know we always want to change our problem to addition, and that might mean using the KFC method if it starts as a subtraction problem. Remember that KFC stands for keep the first number, flip the sign, and change the sign of the second number. Lastly, you can always use the flow chart for your first couple examples. Once you get the hang of this, this will become easier and easier, but beginning it might be a good idea to use that flow chart or some sort of method that you find helpful to help you remember those steps. And that's all for today's lesson. Thanks for studying with Swanson.